Moses Kuria, who is one of the president's economic advisors, has sent a disturbing message to Kalonzo Musyoka just a few days after the president rearranged his cabinet. I will read to you the message, then I will explain precisely why this disturbing message has been directed to Kalonzo Musyoka and why Kalonzo Musyoka really needs to be greatly worried after Moses Kuria's disturbing pronouncements. There are 4 things we cannot play around with as Kenyans. Number 1 is election every 5 years. Number 2 is peaceful and orderly transition from one administration to the other. And then number 3, census, which occurs every 10 years. And then number 4, boundaries review every 10 years. The rest we can disagree, but the above 4 are sacrosanct. I hope I read that word correctly. 2025 is the year of boundary review. Na sio tafadhali. I want you to get it from me straight away that this message is directed precisely to Kalonzo Musyoka. And of great importance in our discussion today is the boundary review that Moses Kuria is talking about, that is to occur in 2025. I want you to get it right that after William Ruto shall have constituted the IEBC, in 2025, something referred to as the boundary review will take place. And it is during this instance that William Ruto will take advantage of Kalonzo Musyoka and crush him down to the earth. Boundary review will affect constituencies, it will affect the boundaries of wards and constituencies, and by extension, the voting patterns of the people. And this is where Kalonzo Musyoka and William Ruto will meet head-on, and I can assure you that one will crush the other. The president will crush the opposition. You wait. The new patterns of the boundaries that shall have been created by IEBC will most likely favor the incumbent, who is President William Ruto, and disadvantage the opposition, who is Kalonzo Musyoka. More and more constituencies might be created in William Ruto's stronghold, while for Kalonzo Musyoka, his strongholds might see a decline in the number of constituencies, and this decline will influence how people will be voting. In fact, when a constituency has been scrapped, the people who are initially voting in that constituency usually have a decline in voting morale. But how will the government be able to do this boundaries review? Remember, the last boundaries review was done in March 2012. Article 89 of the Constitution clearly explains how this process is to be done. We won't go deep into that, but it is important to mention it. Boundary review involves revising the names, the boundaries, the wards within a constituency. The law provides that the number of inhabitants in a constituency should be as near as possible to the population quota. Now, there's this thing called the population quota. Population quota is simply the quotient of the total population of Kenya divided by the total number of constituencies. For instance, in Kenya, the total number of people is 55 million. 55 million divided by 290 constituencies, it gives you around 189,000. That is to say that the number of people in each constituency, in each of the 290 constituencies, should be equal to 189,000 or near this figure. Anything much less than this or much higher than this will not be accepted. So how will this influence the existence or the de-existence of constituencies? For example, if a constituency has 50,000 people, that constituency is likely to be scrapped because it is slightly lower than the population quota, which is 189,000. On the flip side, if a constituency has around 250,000 people, that constituency is likely to be divided, say, into 2, because 250,000 is much higher than 189,000. The Constitution clearly demarcates the percentages that should not be exceeded in terms of the number of people per constituency. Remember, a while ago, Embakasi constituency used to be the largest in Kenya. In fact, the population of Embakasi constituency used to be about 19 times that of Lamu. But the government decided that there are a lot of people in this constituency, and this in itself was hindering development. So it was divided into Embakasi East, West, and so on and so forth. So this is exactly what the government is going to do, and I can assure you that in 2025, A lot of politics will come into play when this exercise will be going on. So many factors will be considered. The government will do all in its power to ensure that opposition factions are crushed. A very good candidate for this crackdown will be Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. So how will this affect Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka? Now, discrepancies arising from the boundaries review will affect how many seats a party will win in the parliamentary votes, in the parliamentary elections, and this will consequently affect who will form government. So you can be sure that William Ruto will be very careful to ensure that in as much as this boundary review will be taking place as mandated by the Constitution, it will ultimately the incumbent, that is himself, who will benefit most from this exercise. Another thing is that constituency boundary peculiarities might lead to an incumbent not having majority of votes during an election. What does that tell us? It clearly points to us that Ruto is going to do something quick fast about it to ensure that everything that will be taking place within this exercise will favor him and only him. Now, what will Ruto do? Ruto is likely to create more constituencies in his stronghold so that more and more MPs can come up to support his administration, and more voters can turn up in large numbers so that his administration can again be voted into office in 2027. And then number two, Ruto is likely to scrap or even merge constituencies in Kalonzo Musyoka's strongholds, constituencies which are purportedly having many inhabitants, contrary to Section 89, contrary to Article 89 of the Constituency Delimitation Act. It is very important to appreciate that President Ruto is likely to execute this exercise with minimal challenges because, first of all, the law allows it. And this is not something like an election whereby there can be a lot of court battles here and there, a lot of battles and rebuttals, somebody like Okiya Mtata moving to court and such like stuff. There won't be a lot of time to do all this. Now, at the end of the day, guys, this is just but my opinion. Do let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more informative content such as this. In the event you're watching for the first time, please remember to check out my channel, and I guarantee you will get a ton of recent content on political, policy, and governance issues in Kenya. If you like my content, I'd really appreciate if you reach out to me at personal level through the links, through my social media links available at the description of my channel. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Alright guys, that is all I had for you today. Let us meet in the next video.